Cue the music. I'm gonna record you right now.
Who you with?
What is good, everyone? What is good? It's the boy bonthagreat coming to you with a video discussing Sony's decision in ending the physical copies. And we're just going to go through a rabbit hole of everything that has already went digital and everything that is going to be digital right in front of our eyes. And the people to blame is us. So let's get into it. We're going to use Savage as my background gamer. So y'all go give her a follow on Twitch. All right, so just so y'all know, this is Sony's official site. This is coming from PlayStation. From PlayStation, people. And if you look at my tab bar, I have a few little sites up there. Because if you know, with anything you research that you have to have sites worded. Hopefully you learned that in high school and then you expanded more on it in college. And I'm in college right now, so that's why a lot of this stuff is still fresh with me, because I'm still learning more, or I'm double backing from when I was in high school in 2020 to 2000. In 2000 to 2004.
Damn.
You don't want to hear no old jokes? Y'all keep that shit. You keep it. You keep it. But anyway, so right here is what they are saying, right? Physical disc production ending in January 2028 for new games releasing on PlayStation consoles. And then you got, the little PlayStation symbol. In response to shifting trends and consumer preference, new games will be released on PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital formats only. So you remember when GTA 6 came out and, Rockstar came out and said there would be no hard copy?
Huh? What's up? GTA 6. GameStop gonna be crunk. Man, what you doing back here? The folks said they don't got no plans of doing it.
If you did buy GTA 6 or whatnot and you got it from GameStop, you are literally getting a hard case. And for those of you who don't know, hold on, you are getting a case, right? And I made sure I got the PlayStation, because we're dealing with PlayStation. We're not dealing with Xbox yet. We're going to get the Xbox in a minute. You're going to get a hardcover case, just like this, right? Steel case. And you open it up, no game at all, but you got a fucking password. And I ain't worried about this password right here, about this little redeem code, because I already didn't use it. Because if you try to use it, you're gonna be fucked. But this is literally what they're going to give you. This is what they're going to give you to suffice for your game. That's crazy. I collect hard cases, hard copies. I like the steel cases. I love this. This is me, my childhood. Because matter of fact, my dad, he still has a Sega Genesis and he has the Sega cartridges still. You know what I'm saying? He still has the original Xbox. He has the original games. All of that stuff. And I have the same thing. And it's just crazy that that PlayStation is doing away with that. As consumer preferences and broader entertainment industries continue to shift away from physical disc to digital, physical game disc production for all games releasing on PlayStation consoles will be discontinued starting January 2028. Following this date, new games will be available on PlayStation Store and at retailers. I already read that. That was up there. This transition has no impact on games that are already released or will be releasing prior to January 2028. And the reason why they made that statement is because they just took off 500 plus movies.
Have ever bought shows or movies on PlayStation? Just a heads up, they could be going away soon. Sony began sending emails to PlayStation owners this week that they would lose access to more than 500 movies on September 1st. Sony cites licensing agreements and limits on digital ownership. No refunds will be offered.
500 plus movies that you all bought digital on PlayStation. And they literally took them away from you. They're not giving you your money back, and you're not going to be able to watch those, even if you already bought them and downloaded it. And that's the crazy thing, because on Xbox, they discontinued their little movie section that they had, but you were still able to access the movies you purchased. PlayStation is not doing that at all. PlayStation is not doing that at all. And the whole thing with all of this stuff is beyond me. They're not going to give your money back. You just shit out of luck. So what does that tell you? What does that say to the consumer about what's going on? I'll wait and I'll let you answer that. Put it in the comments. Put it in the comments. This is natural. This is a natural direction for Sony Interactive Entertainment to adopt to consumers' trends as the general preference for digital media significantly outpaces physical disc. In other words, they're saying you, the consumer, are the reason why we are doing this, right? They are saying that, but Ubisoft was the original ones who said it. It didn't come from the Consumer Report. They just telling you that so they can just strip away the ownership of the game from you. Because Ubisoft said that, yes, they may have statistics showing that, hey, the consumers don't own this game. They only own the license to play the game. AKA, you don't own nothing. You just going to play this game temporarily because they can cut the servers off at any time and strip your money away from you. That's why it's so important to stand your ground and get the hard copies. Get the hard copies. We'll continue to prioritize our resources to drive innovation in how players can access games and provide choices as to where players prefer to purchase new games, whether it's at a retailer or a PlayStation store. We remain committed to delivering a world-class gaming experience to our fans, and we thank you for your continued support. That's a backhanded ass compliment if you ask me. Because ain't no way in hell you telling me thank you for letting me make this decision a whole lot easier. Because guess what? Well, like I've been trying to tell people, like I've been discussing these last couple of days, and I do not like that. Like I've been saying for these last couple of days, that they are literally taking everything from us. Digitally, they removing everything physical that you can own and making it to where it's digital. So by that way, they still control the people. That's it. Because music, you used to have CDs, cassettes, vinyls, and then they introduced the MP3 player. Cause I used to walk around with the Walkman because I remember being in the 8th grade and getting my Walkman taken away or whatnot because of the simple fact I was in the 8th grade and 3 6 Mafia came out with Turn the Club Up Thugs. And I would listen to Play It While You Hate, Play It While You Hate, Play It While You Hate. I was listening to that going to school. You know what I'm saying? And I got my stuff confiscated. But at the same time, I still own that Walkman and I still owned that CD from 3 6 Mafia. And I also had Mystical. I had True. You know what I'm saying? I had fucking Hot Boys. I had all that. You know what I'm saying? But the crazy thing is, when you're younger, when you're able to own as things, you're not thinking about keeping it clean. Because if I would have known that they was gonna do this almost 30 years ago, I would have kept my stuff. Gonna bypass. That was a long time ago. But the more of the story is the point I'm trying to drive to everyone. You're not going to be able to touch stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because they doing, like I say, they're doing it to music. They are doing it as we speak to games. Games literally is the last thing they're doing it to, and that's crazy because they did it to music a while ago. I know I'm sounding like Dr. Umar saying the same shit over and over. I'm trying to get y'all to understand the importance of owning something. You know what I'm saying? So that movies went from disc to streaming to straight up streaming services. Crazy work. And then you can pirate some of the stuff too, but whatever. And then back though, you got even your keys to your house. They got a digital key. Not the key fob and not the little plastic thing. They have a digital key that you can have on your phone and unlock your stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because I'm taking cyber awareness, and with all of the things that I'm learning in the cyber awareness class, since we're going to digital, it's a lot of things that guys need to be aware about because somebody can just be as close enough to you just to take access to your stuff. And that's crazy. But anyway, let's go back to it. So you got the music, you got the movies. They're doing it with the games right now, starting 2028, which we're gonna get into Project Helix in a minute. Your house keys, some of your car keys, and then even with books, they got Kindle out right now. They are literally making everything digital. So, like I'm saying, please, for your sake and my sake and our children's sake, get some kind of real estate, whether if it's entertainment or anything physical you can touch, because digital is going. I knock this off every time. Every time I knock this shit off. Dang, because you're supposed to filter my voice. But anyway, get that. So before we move ahead, let's look at some of these comments. So you got this guy. I'm not gonna mess your name up at all. Do not like this. I've always preferred a physical to digital. Really disappointing. Devil will cry. I'm not gonna mess his name up or whatnot. And then you got this guy, Terrible News RP Gaming Collection. The gaming collection, bro. That was the whole point. That was the nostalgia behind that. Cause when you were a kid, you know what I'm saying? If you had a parent that had all that, that brought you back because you had games. Cause I remember before GameStop, there was a gaming company called Funkoland. Funkoland got bought out by GameStop. But with Funkoland, you wasn't turning in nothing. You kept all your stuff. And I think that's the reason why my dad is still keeping all his little games or whatnot, because I know for a fact that you ain't gonna get nothing, probably about half a cent for the cartridges. Depends on the place you at the time. Depends on where you go to. I know they sell for a lot more money now, but that's not the reason why I'm saying keep it. Keep it for yourself. And then moving on down, Bully returns. We literally own nothing now, but licenses. This is a horrible decision, Sony. Like, I literally said that. I literally just said that. Because it's sad. Don't want you to own anything. I also believe, the Max 37. I also believe with how expensive hardware is getting, they are going to have people lease their consoles instead of own them outright. I feel like we are on the wrong timeline. And you know what? I literally, figuratively, wholeheartedly was about to bring that up also. But this comment, somebody in there, but that's how you know a lot of us are thinking the right way, because this is ridiculous. All right, this is going to be the last one, then we're going to move on. Not this one, because I don't know I don't understand that. I'm sorry. Moving on to the next one. It was always going to happen. Please, let's continue to produce collector's edition. The Tashima and Yoti ones are works of art. But you know what? Yeah, and that is true. That is true. The collector's edition. And so, moving on from that, I'm gonna just put it on this page right here, because this is from Xbox or whatnot, and this just talking about the Helix. Even though they're trying to cover it up, because you see the date, it says March 11, 2026. They're trying to cover it up. But I also have a sister location that works with Xbox. But anyway, so like I was saying though, you know what I'm saying? So what I believe what they're going to try to do is, right? So, and I was telling my crew this last night, to be matter of fact. What they're going to do, and what I think they're going to do, is I think they're going to still continue to make hard copies for certain games. Like how they just said, limited edition on certain games, and then the collector's edition. Because think about it. How many times has a game came out that was very hyped, right? A game that came out that was very hyped, and like with Gears of War, for instance, they had the collector's edition, they had the steelbook edition, they had the regular edition, or whatever the case may be. The collector's edition had the damn chainsaw. It had the Lancer with the chainsaw on there, and it was a toy, but it was a replica of the Lancer that they had. Now, did the game cost more money? Yes. With the collector's edition or whatnot, it costs about a good $200, $300 or whatever. But in order for you to do that, you know what I'm saying, you gotta have people that's willing to pay that amount of money for it. And they know with this news coming out that people are gonna be up in arms, and if they are actually the collector's edition, the collectors, like how they say, like how we say, they feel like, well, if you want a hard case copy, physical copy, that you're gonna pay whatever for that or whatever. And you know what I'm saying? It's just going to be a cover up for adding extra stuff to it. And then that brings me to Mass Effect. Not Mass Effect, which they do need to fix the last one. But that brings me to Fallout 76. All the stuff they had with the mask, that little raggedy ass bag they had, all that edition stuff they had, but you still was able to get the game. And then you get extra stuff, and you pay like $200 for that shit. That is what they're gonna bargain y'all with. You know what I'm saying? So be on the lookout for that. bonthagreat said it here. He said it here. And then, like how the other comments said, where they were saying that they're gonna probably start leasing out your consoles, in which they already are leasing out some consoles, but they're just doing it in another way, right? So I put it like this: the bigger corporations, they look at what's going on. Prime example, we're gonna use Best Buy. So if you go look at the statistics of Best Buy on how many people have used a Best Buy card, right, to purchase those consoles, whether if it's an Xbox, a PlayStation, or a Nintendo Switch 2. I know Nintendo Switch 2 because I got a friend that worked at Best Buy, and she told me it was a lot of people using that card. You know what I mean? So it's just that corporations be looking at little money like that, because regardless of what you think, all of these companies, big corporations, these mainstream companies, they are literally handing each other their stats and like, oh, this person bought this, blah 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 blah. That's another reason why Sony said that, because people are not just not looking at what's going on with GameStop. They looking at Best Buy. They looking at all the other digital companies that's selling physical copies or whatnot. And then, so they just looking at everything collectively and they be like, oh, okay, you know what? We're going to do it like this. And then, like I say, we got some of the people that's on board with it. And, I understand that the Xbox Series S and the PlayStation 5 digital was convenient for a lot of people, aka it was cheaper. But at the same time, this is just me asking you guys. How was it cheaper when you're a gamer just like me, and then you had to go out and buy another you had to go out and buy some more memory or whatever, right? You had to go buy some more memory, and then on top of that, the best thing about owning a hard copy, you get to reserve the game, and then you get to go to Best Buy, GameStop, Movie Trade, or whatever, and you get to pay on it like it's a payment plan. You can't do that with a fucking digital copy. So how is it cheaper and better for you? Because if you don't have the money now, you want Gears of War E-Day. You know it comes out 6-7 months from now. You can go reserve that game now, right? And then, like, if you wanted to, you can literally pay $10 to $15 on it every month until it come out, and the game is yours. Instead of paying full price right on the dot. That's called money management. Money management. You know what I'm saying? Do what you need to do to get what you want. Now, I know I'm finna spend my last on this game. Well, shit, I don't know how I'm gonna eat next week. Oh, I don't know if my light's gonna be on because I just paid $80 for a game. Like, come on, man. Like, I don't understand what we are doing. Sometimes when convenience is a good thing, it can be harmful in the long run. If you just applied it to everything that's going on now, because everything digital, and it all started with COVID, because they already start pulling the rug from under us. Now they just starting to just rip it out from under us now. You know what I mean? And some of us are just letting it do it. Some of us want to have digital. Some of us don't want to leave the house. And that's ridiculous. Go outside and touch some grass and smell some fucked up air. Because it's crazy. But anyway, moving on. Project Helix. Reportedly a fully digital only console. No disc drive. No disc drive. But you know what that also sounds like to me? That sound like the Steam machine. Anybody that plays games on Steam. Now, okay, so before we jump into that, right? I hope we are aware that Microsoft is teaming up with Steam for this console, right? For this console right here. And it makes sense because they're doing a merger. They are coming together. They are coming together to make the Steam. They are pretty much making the Steam machine Xbox crossover or whatever, right? And it's crazy that I believe that this is going to happen. I believe this is going to happen because the Steam machine is $1,000 off the rip, but it don't have no controller, and it may have a few games on there. Matter of fact, let's go look up what the Steam machine give you. So the Steam machine will officially launch on June 30th. It's already out. What does it come with? Right here. See? Look at that. All right, Steam machine release date for Release date, price, and full specs, June 26th, right? So they got you can customize it pretty much. Steam Machine release date and how to buy it. We're not worried about how to buy it. Ha! Right here. Right here. So you got 512 gigabytes with no controller for $1,000. $1,049, right? And then the fuck? Oh, of course. And then you got the same gigabyte with a Steam controller. That's $1,128. And then you got the 2 terabytes. The 2 terabytes for $1,349. And then you got the 2 terabytes with the controller. So it's crazy. It's crazy to me, right? That you have this. You have this worth this much money. And the basic don't even come with a controller. But then to get the controller, it's an additional give or take $80-some. Crazy work. And we understand that it's not like a traditional console, but it's crazy because you know what I'm saying. It's supposed to be equivalent to the PC or whatever, right? But it's running off of old firmware, hardware. My gaming PC probably is stronger. My gaming laptop is probably stronger than this. But the benefits of having a Steam machine is to where you can play all the games on Steam. All the games on Steam, you can play it. So the reason why I got this right here, Steam machine does not come with a built-in disk drive. But you can use external drives to install games if needed. So that means you have to go out and purchase it to hook up to it in order for that to work, right? And personally, if Xbox Project Helix do come out with no drive on there, this could be a way for you to do this or whatnot. But being that PlayStation blatantly came out and said we're not doing no physical copies, Xbox don't want to say it. They want to hide that part and just say we're coming out with a console with no disk drive, on it. Because the Steam machine is already doing the same thing. So if you got Steam and Microsoft merging together, it's gonna be the same way. You already buying your games digitally anyway. It's just that, you know what I'm saying? It's just what's the point? What's the point? There is no point of having a disc if they merging with a company that don't use this. Everything is digital or whatnot. But like I say, here is all of my resources, my sites or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So by that way, if you want to look at it yourself, you can literally go to the website, go to these sites, and they will pretty much let you know everything that you need to know. Because I've already done that for you guys. But if you want to site fact check me, whatever, it's here. There is no shame in none of that because I don't hide anything. I'm transparent. I put everything out for the people. So the next Xbox, for now known as Project Helix, would not have a disk drive per reporting from Windows Central. The only version of the console will be
and not accept physical media. This news is a double blow for video game preservation and physical game enthusiasts. As just yesterday, PlayStation announced they would be ending all physical disc production in 2028. And that news came after Rockstar Games announced there will be no disc version of Grand Theft Auto 6, which is gearing up to be one of the biggest game releases of all time.
Yeah.
The biggest outcry to the news and reporting about Xbox surrounds video game preservation. Digital-only versions of games make it difficult to archive games for a variety of reasons, such as games getting consistently patched and updated so their original form is changed piece by piece.
True.
In response to the PlayStation news, which applies also here, the director of the Video Game History Foundation, Frank Cifaldi, made a statement on what this sort of news means for game preservation. This is unfortunate news for those who still prefer buying games on physical media, and is certainly a hit to consumer rights, the resale market, and game creators whose businesses rely on the physical market. But from the perspective of professional preservationists, this doesn't have as much of an impact as you might expect.
And see, with him saying that, it's crazy because you know how near and dear that is to a lot of collectors or people that just like to have the physical copies or whatnot. That says a lot, but then you say this doesn't have much of an impact as you may expect. That's crazy. Like I say, they gonna continue to give you backhanded compliments or backhanded reactions on stuff because they don't really give a damn if you a collector or not. What they care about is the money that you are putting in their pocket. And we can't even fight with our wallets because guess what? Everything is going to be digital. So it's either you're going to continue to play the old stuff, or you're going to wait until they cut the servers off on the games like how they do on every console. They cut every server off. I'm surprised that the servers for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One is still going. But at the same time, the new console haven't came back yet. So when the new consoles drop, they'll give you a little bit of leeway, then they cut their mug off if they haven't already cut it off or whatever. But going back to what he said about going back to that, I just read it. So the crazy thing is, that's another thing that I have an issue with, right? Is when game developers push out games that are not done. And it started with Bethesda with fucking Fallout. They are the ones who do that shit to where they push out a game and they let the community fix the games for them, and the community plays the game how they want to play it. Ever since they've been doing that mess, it's been every game developer, every game company throws a game out there, and not even 20 minutes the game been out, is already a patch for the game. Why? Why are we patching a game that's supposed to be fully done and released to the public, but instead what we do is we'll release a game, oh, I forgot to add this in there, and we patching it. The only game that I see getting away with that shit is Path of Exiles 2. They not even patching the game. They are putting new stuff on the game as it goes. And you know what? We need to have more Path of Exile 2 developers. And the reason why I say we need to have more Path of Exile 2 development, because guess what? That is a free game that's coming out on Game Pass. Not even Game Pass, because you get to play it for free on PlayStation, right? And what is Path of Exile 2 developers doing? They are putting patches and they're adding content to the game. And guess it's still in game preview mode. It's still in beta mode, whatever you want to call it. And they only charge you $30 to play the game. And then guess what? They put out a tester for you to play, and they said you get to play this game for this amount of days. And then that was to get you to purchase the early access on the game. Now, does it have microtransactions? Yes, it does. Do you need to get the microtransactions for the cosmetics? No, you don't. But the point is, they are releasing the game and they're adding stuff to it or whatnot, whether if you want to purchase it or not. But you have other game developers, Cyberpunk. I bought Cyberpunk when it first came out. I stopped playing Cyberpunk because it was so many bugs in that game. You had Keanu Reeves' face right here and body over here, stuff like that. And it was just so buggy that I could not play it. I put the game down and I started playing it last year. Because honestly, I forgot all about it. And the only reason why I started back playing the game is because PlayStation and Xbox gave it out for free. So I wanted to see, was the bugs fixed? And no, I didn't watch reviews on it because sometimes I feel like the game reviewers be lying. They be lying because they be paid off or whatever the case may be. So no, I'm not finna watch the game review. I'm not finna watch a game reviewer tell me anything because I go to the game and it's trash still. I'm going to unfollow you. I'm sorry because you're lying. You're supposed to be pure. You're supposed to be for the people. Whatever. Cool. But anyway.
Expect. The reality is that the vast majority of video games produced over the last 2 decades were not made for dedicated home video game consoles, let alone pressed to physical media. And even when they were released on physical media, a day one digital patch was all but guaranteed, meaning that even though a disc is preserving data in an accessible way, it may not represent the game that people actually played. Museums and archives have been preparing for this future for a while, with the expectation that putting discs on a shelf isn't going to be a long-term solution for preserving new games.
And you know right there, that's full of shit. Because how you gonna sit up there and say, games was not made? What did it say? The games wasn't made for home, for the little home disc or whatever. Like, are you fucking crazy? The games were not made for dedicated home video game consoles. How was it not? How was you going to play it other than being on console? On a PC? Or on the arcade? Like, make that shit let me let them finish talking before I chime in.
Games. What continues to baffle us is what the industry expects institutions like ours to do about it. If platform owners are deciding to eliminate physical media and older digital storefronts, then we'd also like to see trade groups like the Entertainment Software Association offer meaningful solutions for archives and museums to legally preserve digital-only content and make it accessible for research. Everyone agrees this is a serious problem, but the ESA has repeatedly opposed the efforts of cultural heritage institutions to reform digital copy protection laws to make it easier to do this work. The industry needs to meaningfully come to the table on this issue, because asking museums to download a copy of Grand Theft Auto 6 and hope it'll run in 50 years is not a preservation solution. Beyond game preservation, one of the most enduring aspects of gaming is the used...
And you know what? And that's the thing. I know I said I wasn't going to pause, but that's the thing also. You're doing all this stuff digital. Who's to say that the damn service is going to last fucking 2-3 years from now? Because as soon as the bigger corporations feel like they're not making no money, and they pull that game, you're going to be out of money. You are going to be out of money. And then what you going to do? You're going to be mad because you paid full price, $79, $80 for a game. Right? And you can't get that money back. You literally rented a game for however many days or however many months it takes for you to be at the game. And then your money is gone. At least with the physical copy, I can play this game whenever I want to. Even if they do cut the servers off, I have the full hard drive. I can play the full base game. Because it might say I can't play the DLC because the servers requires internet. But I have that game. If I like that game that much, I can go back and play that game. That's what people are failing to realize. Because they literally just said that. The industry needs to meaningfully come to the table on this issue. Because asking museums to download a copy of Grand Theft Auto 6 and hope it'll run in 50 years is not a preservation solution.
How? Hold on, bro. How?
In a future of no physical media, no longer will anyone be able to trade, sell, or buy used games.
Hell, I already said that with GameStop.
How a game preservation museum is keeping your favorite games alive. Game preservation, what it means to protect the past.
You know, we're going to go to what it means to protect the past.
Back in June, the Video Game History Foundation published a piece on the critical darling Earthbound. The news about Earthbound was not a long-lost demo or copy, but scripting code that was long deleted by translator Marcus Lindholm back in the 1990s. Frank Cifaldi, the founder of the Video Game History Foundation, was able to perform some digital forensics to recover this long-lost relic. With it, a whole video and article were produced to showcase differences in the script from development to completion for curious gamers to read. Some may question why recovering a small amount of scripting code is so important. After all, Earthbound is a popular game that is still remembered fondly by players. It leads to a major issue regarding gaming preservation, simply how misunderstood the practice actually is. Some gamers do not understand game preservation.
They don't.
I know. It's a bit of a harsh claim, but it really does feel like wheels spinning in place whenever a discourse about preservation comes up. It often becomes a circular argument that focuses on one single point. The game should be freely available, all the time, to the public. It is an infuriating charge, especially in how misguided it becomes. One thing I constantly see, in reference to the conservative nature of Nintendo, is how they are horrific at preserving their own history. This especially comes up when titles like Earthbound rarely see a re-release. Many Nintendo games suffer this fate, being a product of their time and console, with re-releases few and far between. You would think, though, the massive leaks that occurred over the past few years would prove that claim wrong. The Giga Leak pretty much dumped troves of history and development of Nintendo products, games, systems, and more into the general public. It was an impressive find that was part heist and part archaeology, and it has led to newer discoveries long after the leak has subsided, such as publicly seeing the long-lost Workboy actually function thanks to the efforts of historian Liam Robertson.
Alright, so we're finna go back over here and then we're gonna finish this video up. Xbox hasn't officially made a statement regarding a diskless future yet, but some new reporting suggests that plans are already being discussed behind closed doors, in which I just went to, according to the report from Windows Central. Xbox will be taking similar approach when it comes to its next generation of hardware. As Project Helix or sources also suggest that Microsoft's next generation console will drop the disk drive too. No official source was cited for this intel, so gamers will definitely want to wait for more official confirmation before jumping to any conclusions. So, with that being said, my people, I hope that was helpful to everyone that has watched this, and hopefully we'll figure something out. Oh, that thing is so. I know why, because I normally have my green screen back there. But yeah, hopefully this helped out everybody, and like I say, purchase as much physical real estate as you can. Try to own as much stuff as you can, because the way that the word is going to all digital, that's something that we need to focus on. But until next time, hey, y'all take care of yourself. Like, share, subscribe. Share your boy with your friends, because it might be something that they need in their life. You can use me as background noise. I don't know about the whole sleeping aspect, but I have yet to come out with something to help people sleep. But we could try it. Use me as background background noise, white noise, sleeping noise, whatever. Let's boost this channel up so we can achieve higher hopes. But until next time, this is Bonthagreat signing out.